thanks for joining me for the Drawing for Adults class brought to you by the Ann Arbor District Library and the Ann Arbor Art Center. Today we are going to be painting these winter wonderland watercolor paintings. So as always with digital, I always feel like watercolor just, I don't know, can't quite do it justice. So bear with me with this and go ahead and grab your watercolor paper and a pencil and we'll go ahead and get started. So you can see here I am sketching out the outline for my design. I'm keeping it very simple and loose for this watercolor sketch. I don't want to go into too much detail. I'm going to let the details be with the watercolor paint, but also I'm not really going to make this a super detailed painting overall. I'm going to keep this whole thing very loose and kind of like a study or a sketch, just something that is not rendered completely. So it's going to be very expressive and stylized. And the best part about this is since it's going to be a wintry looking painting, we're going to leave a ton of white space to achieve the look of snow because snow is white. So we'll still add some color into it, of course, so that it's not just plain white, though you could really get by with leaving a lot of this white. So you can see that I'm leaving a lot of gaps here as I am coming in with this really dark green paint. So this is with watercolors again, so use probably a round tip brush is what I would recommend, but really you can get by with a flat brush or a filbert or something like that as well. So I'm just throwing in, you can see I really just put like 3 main trees there that are kind of in the foreground and the midground, and then I have roughly sketched in some trees that are going to be really faint in the background. And so now I've got some detail in the trees that are in the foreground and midground, and then I'm just blocking in some color there for the ones that are in the background. Those backgrounds are going to be, colors are going to be a little bit more muted and a lot less detail in the trees overall. And then the sky, you can see I've just done a simple wash with a few different colors, again leaving a lot of white space to give the look of clouds, and then I'm leaving a lot of white space there in the ground as well. So what I recommend doing is doing all of this pretty quickly, at this part at least within maybe the first 30 minutes or so if you can. And then what I'm doing now is trying to make it look like I'm coming back in with a little bit more water, and I'm actually smudging up my painting a bit at this point. So if you liked what I was doing before a little bit more, then don't feel like you need to do that water step. I kind of felt like I was getting a little bit too detailed. I will, at the end of this, I will end up putting a little bit more detail back into it, but I just felt like I wanted it to be a little bit softer, and I got a little bit more of a crisper edge than what I was really trying to go for initially. But obviously, again, it's up to you. You're able to see at least the different stages that I went through in creating this, so you get to make this your own, of course. So you can also see anywhere with watercolor, one of the things that you can do is you can go back in and you can add a little extra water to it in places, and then you can dab it with a paper towel, and that will kind of lift some of that watercolor up. So if you accidentally oversaturate an area with color like I did, you can kind of erase by doing that. So I'd encourage you to make sure that you're leaving enough white space, and if you accidentally don't and you get a little color happy like I did, you can always go back and kind of dab it with a paper towel to absorb some of that color and water and make it so that you can see more of your white watercolor paper to achieve the look of snow. So thank you so much for joining me for today's Drawing for Adults class. I hope you have enjoyed painting these lovely watercolor wintry wonderland scenes.